What we're looking at is a body bolster. The bolster is this steel affair that goes from one side of the car to the other, and it has several important features. One of which is that it's the strength of this end. This is what holds it all together. There are bolts going up through every one of these sills. There are 8 sills across, so there are 8 bolts, doubled because there's 2 of them in a line, holding the car together. Another function is that this is the center bearing. There's this is the male one pointing down, and then there's a female one on the truck also, and it pivots back and forth, so as the car goes around corners, it guides it, or keeps it from coming off. And it also is where the motors, which are down here, and wheels, which are pulling in this direction, or the other direction, will pull against this, which then pulls the body along. So it has to be quite rugged because there's an awful lot of force in it. The force from when the car stops, the brakes will be pushing against this. The momentum of the train will be pushing against it also. So very, very strong structure. On the side, what we call side bearings, which are castings that are quite shiny actually underneath, because there's another one on the truck that it will slide against. The 2 of them, they grease them so that they will slide over each other. Now, this is made of 2 major pieces. One is this upper piece here, which is 3/4 of an inch thick, 8 inches wide, and 103 inches long. It goes all the way across the car, and you can see the various bolts, or the remnants of some of the various bolts, and these go up to the top of the sill. And there's a bottom piece, which is 1 inch thick and 8 inches wide and 100 and some inches long. Flat on the end, angles down to 5.5 inches away here. It's flat at where the center bearing is, and then goes up and flattens out on the other end. So you have bolts at either end holding it together, and then you can see all number of bolts that go through that also hold it together. Like there's a set of them right there. There's 4 of them here, and then there's 2 on the end which have broken off, or I guess we cut them off and we took it apart. Now, one of the problems which we see all the time on this car is the amount of corrosion that has occurred, and much of it is where you have an interface of wood and metal, or metal to metal. Now up here we have some on top. You can see that obviously we weren't going to keep that piece. You can see all the rust right in here. The other is where you have metal to metal, and each sort of contributes to the other. Water has gotten in here somehow, and from here to here is about 3/4 of an inch of rust. Now that will flake off when we take these apart. That'll just fall out or break out in the form of plates of rust.